This is the Anker PowerConf H700, and I received this from Anker on Tuesday of last week and needed the video done by the same Thursday to meet the launch date of, well, today. So I wrote this script and shot this video in 3 hours, so this is hands down the quickest turnaround video in all of mankind. Yes, watch this with reverence, ladies and gentlemen, because even though this is a conferencing headset, I'm gonna tell you why this might be one of the best work and play headphones that you ever need. As long as your company pays for it, that is. Subscribe if you like where this is going. Let's get this after these messages. Let's quickly dig into the specs first. So $180 gets you the headset. If you bump it up to $200, gets you also the really cool charging stand right there. There's Bluetooth 5.0 on board with support for AAC and SBC only. There's no aptX here, but there is multi-point Bluetooth connection, which means you can simultaneously connect to two devices and then switch between them anytime. There's also wear detection built into this, which has also thankfully a really low delay. The headset weighs 184 grams, if I remember correctly, and together with the stand, that's 340 for what it's worth in case you want to port it around. And as of this writing, I've only had 1 day with the headset, but I've been able to calculate the battery life to be roughly 26.5 hours if you listen to music only, or 22.5 hours for talk time. And both of these at 65% volume and active noise cancellation turned on. I'll tell you what, Anker knows a thing or two about material choices, and it reflects well here. The design is nice and svelte, very compact, really nice to hold, and really well put together. And with a little bit of mature flair thrown in here and there, like this little spiral pattern right here, can you see that? They didn't have to do it, but it's a really nice touch. Or this pretend turned metal surface, even though it's all plastic. It's really nice to look at, and I really love how the color, it's so nice. One thing I want to mention though, the ear cup is a little bit hollow, just a little bit, but it's enough to transmit finger taps directly into your ears, or even light finger scratches like this. So something to bear in mind. Now the controls, let's start with this side. This is a rotation knob. You can control this by twisting to control volume. You can even hold it down one way for incremental volume up or down. You can tap this thing too, single, double, triple taps, controls media as well as phone calls. There's also a button right below that, active noise cancellation, that cycles to normal, pass-through, and active noise. And at the front here on this other side, there's a mute button that controls, well, obviously mute or unmute, and also can turn off the LED light in the boom mic. There's a power button down here, as well as a USB-C charging port. Now this boom mic, you can flip it either way if you like to wear this on your right ear or your left ear, and when you lift it up completely 90 degrees or thereabouts, it automatically mutes the call. And also if you lift your ear cups, it does the same. It's pretty darn cool. In the business end of things, there's a 40mm driver on each side that handles the sound, and there's two internal mics as well that per side that handle noise cancellation. Now the top padding is narrow but also comfortable at the same time, while the ear pad itself, well, it's breathable, though some may find it a little bit on the thin side in terms of padding material. But I can wear this for like 2-3 hours straight and be totally fine. So as I mentioned earlier, $20 extra gets you this charging stand / dock, and it comes in two separate pieces straight out of the box. And once you have it assembled, it looks like this. It's just a matter of clipping it on down there. There's a really nice power router cable organizer thing that routes it to the back to the USB-C charging port. And I have this connected to my power pack so I can show you the LED status light that tells you whether there's power connected or not. And then once you slip on the headphones like so, the top of the boom mic tells you, or blinks, telling you that it's charging. And to be honest, it looks really nice to boot. Before you say anything, I know this is not the H700's regular working environment, but we're out here doing the Bluetooth range test like we always do. It's snowing out, it's really nice, and it's 0 degrees. It's really darn cold, but I'm enjoying this. And so I have pre-designed singing I Found Love playing on my phone right there, the Pixel 6. Sitting at the end of my deck. So we're gonna take these H700s down this way to see when they start cutting out, and I'll try not to slip on the really slippery ice. It's like half melted, half frozen. It's really, I could die doing this, but I'm doing it for y'all. So the phone is still there. I'm gonna keep talking and walking until we get a disconnect. Supposedly these have Bluetooth 5.0 and should last around 35-40 feet, my guess. Whoa, that's slippery. Just gonna have to walk like a penguin. Anyways, it's still going strong, nice and tight. And I have to say this again, I love how these sound for a teleconferencing headset. How you guys doing? Hope you guys had a good holiday. it's still going strong, man. I'll tell you what. I did see somewhere that there was some mundane spec that says this at 100 feet walking range, and I'm starting to believe it. It's still going strong. I'm walking down to the street. I don't want to keep going further because this is slippery, but I'm at 60 feet and the music is still kicking. Oh my goodness. I believe the 100 feet range here. So even though this has Bluetooth 5.0, it usually is rated around 35 feet, but these things really are strong. So anyways, let's move on to the microphone test. We're gonna test these outdoors and see how these handle noise suppression. All right, we're heading down to the road right now to get some sound samples, and here come some cars. I'm gonna keep talking and wait for them to pass by so you can hear how these things do with noise suppression. Very impressive so far. I've been testing these for quite a bit and been really impressed. And I know this is not the natural environment where these are used, probably like indoors where it's, you know, a noisy office or lots of kids around you or something. And this is probably like an extreme situation. But it does a really good job. The AI the algorithm that they use here, yeah, spot on. And by the way, when you can see that there's a busy light right here at the end on my boom mic that tells you when you're busy, so people around you know you're on a phone call, which is really nice. I think based on what I've been testing so far with latency and everything, this will be a pretty good gaming mic as well. So something to take note of. Another thing too is when you get on a phone call with active noise cancellation on, ANC will stay on. So if you prefer more, you know, safety or awareness around you, you can set it to automatically turn off and have pass-through mode come on. So there you have it. A lot more cars coming through. You can hear for yourselves, and it's really white in it. Yes, it's a late Christmas in January. It's really nice. How does that sound? It's pretty impressive. But anyways, back to the studio. Sacre bleu, mon ami, because if you close your eyes while trying these on, while listening to some jams, you might actually mistaken the H700 sound profile to be that of Anker's own Soundcore Q30, with less isolation of course because this is super oral, but the power, definition, and clarity would be super familiar to Soundcore users. Even the separate Ankerwork app possesses functionality trickled down from the Soundcore app, which I can see, because where else can you find an 8-band equalizer plus multiple presets on an enterprise headset? Yeah, I know. What else? Well, sub bass was a really nice surprise, especially on a device like this. You can hit it. And also vocals for podcasts and more importantly video calls are really nice and warm and full, though they kind of feel a little bit muffled. And really that's it with the whole listening experience. They're all just a wee bit muffled compared to say a Soundcore Q30. Just a bit. Most of you won't even pick up on it, but it's definitely there and I thought I'd mention it anyway. Who would have thunk that a mundane thing like muting your call would be so cool on this device? You talk right here, you lift to mute, or lift any or both of the ear cups to do the same. Simple, fast, and effective. And then we come to this, the coolest controls outside of the Marshall Monitor 2s in my opinion, and I believe that every headphone should have something like this, not touch controls that barely work or dinky little buttons that are really hard to find, which this one has by the way, but thankfully kept to a minimum of 2. This twist and push knob is intuitive enough to use that even a drunk ninja monkey can figure it out doing his ninja monkey group Zoom call. I can't say the same thing about Zoom though, no one can ever figure out those controls. As the late Sean Connery might say, this is one sexy headshot. Yes, the design and function combo, I'll tell you what, is pretty well executed here guys. From the brushed aluminum headband to the spiral design surround on the ear cups right here, to the compact yet comfortable ear pads, plus the cool telephony features I mentioned earlier. This H700 is loaded to the gills, I'll tell you what. And it better be for the price. And speaking of price, this is where I have to whack my finger at the $180 to $200 asking price, because for 40 bucks less, for example, I could get a Q35 and it could totally do the whole work from home gig. Heck, you could even buy pretty much any well-reviewed headphone or earbud out there for much less and still video chat with your team just fine. You know, it would have been nice if this had a fabric ear pad, either as an option or a swappable piece. And now to clarify, the clamping force over the head is just fine, but any kind of torque or twisting motion like this, as you can see, causes the earpieces to slip quite easily. When Anker asked me to review this, I was hesitant at first because this is obviously not the kind of product we look at on this channel, but when I first saw the specs, it piqued my interest and I thought, what if What if something marketed as a telephony device could actually jam to tunes with the best of them? No doubt, guys, the H700 is one of the best conferencing headsets I've ever used. Loaded to the gills, as we mentioned earlier, with some of the best internals for telephony and media consumption. I do wish the price was lower though, and sure, Anker sells this as their high-end, top-of-the-line model, but if you had to buy one of these out of pocket, it's a tough nut to swallow, I'll tell you what. So, moral of the story, make sure your company pays for it. Anyways, with all that said, I'm gonna give the Anker PowerConf H700, what a name, right? A GearUP score of 8.2 out of 10, and this is how I broke it down to get a final score. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment down below. Well, there you have it, guys, and thank you so much for watching this really quickly slapped together video. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you like what I'm doing and show your support, and turn on the bell notification icon if you can. I'm trying to get to high numbers this year of subscribers, so please help me out there. I'm also on Patreon, Insta, Facebook, and Twitter if you want to follow me there. And remember to the thumbs up if you like this video, and just don't thumbs down. And remember to do something kind and loving for somebody in this world, as I always say, because the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love y'all, and peace out. Whoosh.